Hey guys, here to explain the game of Paradigim. So, how this is going to work is you've seen this sheet over here on the side before, and below me is the map down there. Everyone has chosen their locations. Other than the locations that were chosen, those are all going to be CPU. So those are going to be non-real players that compete in the game that can be taken over, can be assigned certain things, can be allied with and traded with, things close to that nature. I'm here to explain the game and how it works, and I figured a video would be the best way to do that. That way I don't have to call each and every individual one of you. Hopefully this shouldn't be too long. I'll try and cover everything I can, and whatever I don't cover, just please post on Facebook if you have a question, and I'll do the best I can to explain it. So I'm going to go through each individual thing on the sheet that I posted. Mine has been edited a little bit, spelling corrections, units, just little things, but I'll go over all of that in general. So if you look on your sheet on the top here, you'll notice that there's yen, population, military, agriculture, and the happiness of your people. Um, I think we're going to do it Tuesday and Thursday. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to have a rotation. And how rotations are is everything you do, you tell me by a deadline. So on Monday, it happens. On Tuesday it happens. On Thursday it happens. You have until that time to tell me, and we'll figure out a time that I determine later or that we'll piece to you, probably 12 midnight. So by Tuesday at midnight, if whatever you do or whatever you do to retaliate, to trade, to make money, to do to your people, anything in general, if you don't tell me by that time, your country does nothing. It's a standstill. It just doesn't do anything. So there's cons and pros to that. So first of all, say you don't want to partake into this, and like maybe you're busy a day, you're not gonna die. You're not out of the game because you didn't put in your 2 cents on Tuesday or Thursday or whatever days they are. Okay? Your country just stays still. You don't progress, you don't lose, yada yada. But say A is attacking B. And on Facebook, I will tag you in all these posts, and all of what happens is public knowledge except what people message to me. So if there's spies, such like that, I can't make that public knowledge because that defeats the purpose. But for instance, if A attacks B, and B doesn't talk, doesn't retaliate, and I made a post on Facebook, A attacks B, and since B is doing nothing, A wins. So just keep in mind that. I will do my best to make contact with you, to try my best to get a hold of you so you know what's going on. But as it stands, you don't need to partake every single day all week. It only happens right now twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, if that's what we decide to do. That's how the game works, in a sense of timing and your commitment. As much as you want to commit to this game, you can. So anything you want to do in the realm of possibilities that we know in our heads exist, you can do that. I don't know how much money it's going to take you to do that, but you can do that. So yen. Yen is your money. Seeing as I'm the leader as a CPU, I'm just like, I don't make any big choices. I'm just sitting there. I'm the trade hub, okay? So what happens with yen is, say you want to, and I'm going to go on a whim here, and I've been using animals, but say you want sophisticated skydiving alligators out of pelican bird airplanes or something. I don't know. Anything you want. Depending on how much money you give me and spend on me and invest into me, the leader of Falcon Reach with the CPU, is how much progress you make towards what you wanted to do. So if you give me 10, I'm going to be like, okay, you take an airplane and you drop your alligator out and the alligator dies on impact. Nothing's going to happen there, okay? You only gave me 10 yen. But if you give me 25,000, okay, that seems like crazy, especially how much I'm going to give you. But you give me 25,000, now you have dancing alligators that can like skydive with, flying squirrel attachments that can go 300 miles an hour into a different country and can sail across the sea that way. Point is, you can do anything you want depending on how much you invest in it and how much you're committed. So if you bring that idea up once to me and give me a little bit of money, maybe you only get this far. But then you bring it up 2 weeks later, maybe you'll get that far. You never know. You just got to keep going and you got to trust me. Or is it worth it or is it not? But yen is the currency that runs the entire game. Anything you want to do takes currency. Population. Population is the amount of people you have in your country. That's it. Military. Military is the amount of military you have in your country. Population and military are two completely separate digits. They're different numbers, different stats altogether. If you have 250 military, that doesn't mean if you have 1,000 population, you only have 750 population. Military is different altogether. So if you're thinking about it, if you have 1,000 pop and 250 military, you have 1,250 people in your country, if you think about it like that. That is how this works. The next one, agriculture. Agriculture is food. Everyone's going to be assigned a food. I haven't gotten there yet. I've just been lazy. But everyone is assigned a food. You can make it whatever you want if you really want to do that. You can make your country on how it is on my map. And how it is on my map. Where is it? There it is right there. How it's drawn. If you want to do anything you want to that country on that map, you can. Anything drawn, any ideas, if you want to make a wall, Great Wall of China, you want to make moats across your entire border. I don't know how much time that's going to take, but you can do it. Anything you want to do. Agriculture can fund that. As I said earlier, yen is the most important currency of the game. That's all that we use. Agriculture funds yen. If you start with 1,000 yen, and you start with 1,000 agriculture, you can use that agriculture and reinvest it in agriculture. You can take the seeds from your plants and replant them. You will get more agriculture next turnaround. Agriculture also feeds your population and your military. You need a certain amount of agriculture to feed your population. So these numbers aren't the final numbers which you're going to get. They're going to be much higher. But as an example, just to keep it simple, we're going to go through this. You started with 50 yen. We have 100 population, and we have 25 military, and 275 agriculture. So in the beginning of your rotation, you need to feed your population and your military. They don't just survive off of nothing. 275 agriculture. You have 25 military. You have to feed your military, so now you have 250 agriculture left in your pocket. You have 100 population. You have to feed every one of your population. You now have 150 left in agriculture. You can sell that 150 of your remaining agriculture after you've fed your military and population to produce yen. So you have 150 ag. 150 ag sold to the market, me, gives you 200 yen total. 150 of the leftover agriculture plus the 50 you already had, you would have 200 yen total. Or you can take that agriculture and you can reinvest it into agriculture. So you take that produce, that access that you have, and you replant it into the ground. You take whatever. If it's a cow, those cows had that many whatever, now you have that many calves that produce that much more meat next time. Whatever you choose to produce, produce, whatever you choose, folds over. So now, I have 275 agriculture, right? That's what we had. We had a remaining 150. This total does not go down. On this sheet, this total does not go down. You spent all but 150 of it, but this does not go down. You're still going to get 275 agriculture the next time you rotate. So if this all happened on a Tuesday, on Thursday, you're still making 275. You don't lose that. But I invested that 150 back in. So I take this, put 150 in it. So now our total 425. Right? 375, 425. So now your overall agriculture is 475. The next rotation, so this happened on a Tuesday. You invested that 150 to add to the 275, so now you spent all your food. Now it's 425. So now we bring this down. This number, again, stays the same. And now that you invested, it's permanently invested. That is your new base. Population. Military. Yen. You feed your pop. Once again, first thing rotation. Now you have 400. Now you have 300. Now you have 300 food, which is double what you had last time to invest in whatever you want. Whether cash it into yen to get a total of 350 to throw to me to maybe do some research, or buy some pop in military. You have 300 agriculture. If you look over here to my conversion chart, 2 agriculture equals 1 person. If you give 2 agriculture, you get 1 person. So with 300 agriculture, you now have produced, or not 200, 300 agriculture, you have now produced 150 population. So now your population is 250, which can mean more work done. Depends on how you run your country, but maybe more population is what you want. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you want a lot of population, so one day in case something happens just like this, you can convert it into military. As a side note, you cannot have more than 25% of your entire population be military. So if you have 100 military, or a population, you can only have 25 military. You cannot exceed this unless perhaps you did research, or perhaps you run a dictatorship, or things along that line. Be creative. You can do things like that. If you can break the rules if you give me reasonable clause. So now you have 420 agriculture. All that was reinvested. You have that much more. Now you're producing this. If you keep doing this, you can, very much so, but I have a cap. I'm going to cap it at probably 5,000. I'm not sure yet, but that's going to be the cap. And until you get to that point, you cannot make more in that country. And I think the way I have it is every country can give you 5,000. I think. I'm not sure. So that means you have to take over more countries to make yours bigger and larger. To progress the stats that you have. We haven't gone over happiness of people. The happiness of people is a gauge that I give on your country, depending on your dictatorship or your government, anything. The way you treat your people. If you have a very high military compared to your population and they're swarming in your cities, people are going to be uncomfortable. You know? Things like that can happen. Just little minuscule things. Say you don't feed your population. Say you decide to take all that agriculture and put it right into yen and sell it, because that's all you can do. Maybe you're being attacked, whatever. But you don't feed them. Maybe they're terribly unhappy and decide to burn everything you have. That can happen. That all goes into happiness of people. Everything like that is related to happiness. And that's just how interior your country is doing. So if your country is happy, you'll probably do good. Happy people do happy things. Just like in the Lego movie, the happier your people are, the more progress will get done. If your happiness is so high, maybe it only takes 1 agriculture to get a population. Maybe you guys are just frisky, you know? Maybe everyone in your country is frisky, who knows? But point being is, good things happen when your country is happy. Bad things happen when your country is not happy, depending on the situation. We all just got to take this in effect. So, let me see, what else am I going over? Name, capital, allies. Okay, so everyone can have allies and everyone can have enemies. Allies just work together. It can be on the books or off the books. I don't care. You don't even have to tell me, to be completely honest. But, for instance, if A was attacking B and B was allies with C, and B, if you recall, wasn't here, C could help B out. Maybe. Who knows? You know, we don't know. If C wanted to even. Or maybe A is allies with C. So maybe A and B both attack, or A and C both attack B and split the profit. Who knows? Whatever you guys decide to do is all up onto you. But that's about enemies and allies. Trading. As I said before, everyone has a produce or agriculture. Everyone produces a certain type of agriculture. And everyone also needs a certain type of agriculture. All the CPUs that we have, all of the people that are actually playing as well, they all have agriculture. What I mean by that is, if I produce apples, I don't want apples. But say, whoever. Say we'll just choose a number. Okay, I'm Talon, but say 12. Okay, I can't show you. I can't point on it, but 12 on the map. They produce oranges, and all I want is oranges, and all he wants is apples. If we trade what I want and what you have, I'm trying to explain this in a better way, sorry. Everyone has a resource that they want and that they produce. If a country and another country match up what they produce and trade to a country that wants that item, so I produce apples and Dale's country, or whoever, I think Dale's 12. If Dale's country wants apples, if I trade that to him, it's a 1-to-1 ratio, but both sides get an extra yen. It's kind of confusing. Give me a second. In the game, if you don't trade, you are not penalized. If you trade your agriculture in for yen, you always get a 1-to-1 ratio. That's all it is a 1-to-1 ratio. Every one agriculture for every 1 yen, that's how it works. One agriculture gets you 1 yen. When I trade one of my agricultures with a country that wants my resource, not only do I get that 1 yen, but I also get another yen. So now agriculture has a trade of 2 for 1. I get 2 yen for 1 agriculture. And the country I'm trading with is only giving me 1. They're not giving me anything. They're not expelling anything. That country that I'm trading with is not having any penalty either way. So my point is, being an ally and working together on trades at least is very smart. You can double your income. You can move that much faster. I hope that makes sense. No one is charged anything for trading. When you trade your agriculture for your yen, you are trading to me, the leader of Paradigim, whatever, or my country, Talon. Okay? You're getting a 1-to-1. So if 14 produces apples and 12 needs apples, 12 does not give you money. 12 does nothing. They just agree to it. If they're your ally. And you get 2 for 1. 2 yen for 1 agriculture. It produces that much more results, resources, and progresses you that much farther. But if you're not allies and you're not enemies, or you're enemies, they can refuse you that, which can also kind of be a little hard. Whatever. Yen is the currency of the world. Population is the population of your country. Agriculture sustains 1 population, and it can also be exchanged. I'm pretty sure I went over this. Rotation list, feed sustain, reinvest agriculture. 1 invested agriculture, an extra 1 for 1. Trading. I hope I explained it well enough. Okay, so rotations. Going back to that. Every time we have a rotation, that is 1 giant turn of event. So if 14 is attacking 21, is 14 attacking 21, that doesn't just happen. That happens at a given time on Tuesday and Thursday. So if 14 tells me they want to attack 21 on Tuesday, that doesn't happen till Thursday. And I let 21 know that it's going to happen. So 21 and 14 both have from Tuesday to Thursday to figure out what they want to do. So 21 needs to do something, needs to get an army. Say you have no army in 21 and 14 has a big one, and you know how much this is. You can spend that 1 rotation to buy military. You can prepare yourself for that. So you're not just onslaught So the person who has the most military wins. If you do that, it won't work. So that's why I have the rotation set up. So you can give me a command to do, but it doesn't partake, it doesn't happen until that Thursday after the next rotation. So it's one delay. If you want to move across the map to get to that country, it takes one rotation. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to make it one rotation across the map. So if you're on the opposite corner of the map, it still only takes one rotation to get there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that. Okay. Say you're going to war and you're capturing a country. You can ask that country to surrender, and their population becomes yours. Their military can become yours. Or they can attack and fight you off. Most CPUs might surrender. We don't know. Or maybe they're vigilantes. Maybe they will attack you. But countries and countries can attack, and they can demand a surrender, or they can kill everything. You got to remember that countries can do whatever. So, for instance, I've played this before, and I was being attacked. I decided to burn everything I have, and I gave all my population, all my money, and everything, and one of my allies was nice enough to let me flee and fled into them. So I fled into another country, and I burned everything in mine. The person who took my country got nothing other than vacant land. So yeah, their population and agriculture and stuff could increase, but they got none of mine. If your country gets taken over, you're done. You don't have to be, though, but that country is done. If you have an ally and you decide to keep some of your population in them, you still have a chance. You still have a chance to come back. If you want. You don't have to, but if you want, you can come back. Your ally can maybe give you one of their countries that they already have. Or if you have enough money, maybe you can give me money and I'll buy you one. Might not be what you want, but maybe you'll get an option of a country and you'll get to start back in. It doesn't mean you're dead for good. You can still reinvest, just a different country name and whatever. Unless you are the rebels from whatever your name of your country was and you're trying to come back. You can totally do that too. Again, it's totally free. Whatever you want to do, you can do. You just got to let me know what that is. I think I've pretty much covered it all. I'm sure I'm missing a lot. If you have any questions or how this works, just please message me, Facebook me, text me. I have my phone on me at all times. Right now, we're going to start all this stuff at a base level, so we'll start your yen. Let's make it 1,000. We'll make your population 1,000. We'll make your military 250. And we'll make your agriculture, because you got to remember your agriculture needs to feed your population and your military. So your agriculture should really be the highest stat on here other than yen. So your agriculture we're going to make 2,000. So right off the bat, if it's 2,000 and you have 250 military and 1,000 population, you're going to only have 750 left. You can reinvest that. You can sell that for yen, or you can create population. If you create your population with that, you have now 1,750 population. You're only left with 250 military. And remember, that can only stay at 25%, which is fine with 1,750. But if you recall, we only have 2,000 agriculture. So if you invest all in pop, now all you do is break even. You're kind of stuck there. You can always use your yen to buy more agriculture. That just depends how it is. But you got to remember, think ahead, invest wisely, and I recommend you stick to the same thing. Other than that, welcome to Paradigim. Good luck, and may the best man win.